The next shape that we're going to take a look at is what I call this attachment piece for the blade that goes and attaches the blade to the body that you see here. So I'm going to hop on over to Maya, and you can see that we've got this side blade attached under Geo. So I'll just go ahead and show that, and we can see that sitting right here like that. And what I'm going to do is go into my layers and hide the high-res ZBrush parts. So you can see this lines up with the reference image that you see here. And looking at the other reference image, it looked like we basically have this piece that has kind of some stair stepping to it and it goes up this direction. Then we've got this piece here that's kind of a bit more rounded. And then we've got some pieces here for the hex that kind of actually gets knocked out here, here, and here for this kind of these tri-shapes there. Okay, so actually creating this thing, that was pretty simple. If I hit Control-1 and take a look at this, I believe the way that I created these was just using cylinders to start off with. So if I go create polygon primitives and I use a cylinder like this, I'm just going to push it off to the side and get it about the right size that we have for the other one. Just kind of move it over, tap F to frame in on this a bit. And I'm kind of far away from this thing here. Zoom it up right there like that. Now if we're using our reference image, we could just move this into place like this, and basically that's what I did. I kind of, just eyeballed it, kind of get it as close as I possibly could to that. But we already had some shapes that were made to kind of knock that hole out. So it was actually, if you hold down V, it was pretty easy to snap to the center of an object just by selecting the center piece of the geometry. So like if I turn on the wireframe unshaded on this, if I move this, if I hold down V while I move this, I could select that point and it would snap right to the center of that point. So that's how I kind of moved it into position for where it needs to go for that. The other part for this thing is just kind of building the shape like this. So kind of scaling this thing in, kind of getting it in like this, right, and through here. And if we got maybe close to about the right thickness for this, I just checked it against the hole that was created in there and kind of pushed it into the body just a little bit. And so I'm not going to get too specific about this on here for what we create for this. We already looked at, if we select this here, this edge, and we shift right click and say bevel edge, we can get some more geometry kind of going that way, right? And so I think I needed that. I'll do it again like this for here. So I needed this geometry to come out and match to this point here. I needed this to match to this point here. And then if I hit F9 and then shift arrow key with the period key next to the question mark key, that'll grow the selection out like that. And I can just push this thing in just a little bit. So that's given me everything that I need. If I tap 3, obviously we've got to take our edges and we've got to hold down shift and add that selection to things, and then shift right click crease tool and then crease it like that. And that's giving the basis for this thing that we see here like that. Now the next thing I would do is, if I use the multi-cut tool, if I go here to the modeling toolkit, or if you're in object mode, shift right click multi-cut tool, hold down control, and then add another piece in through there like that. We can hit F10. I'll have tap Q to go out of that tool. For some reason I have to go out of that tool quite a bit to get things to work right. So we'll crease this, shift right click and crease tool like that. Tap 3. And now we can just scale this thing out to try to get it to feel like it's kind of nice and flat. And maybe we pull this thing forward just a little bit. Now there's another tool that I want to show you to get this even kind of spacing on here. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits going down and through here. And it'd be nice if they were nice and even, right? So there is a tool for that. So if we go to Mesh Tools and take a look at there, I see it. Maybe it's under Edit Mesh. We're looking for Insert Edge Tool. And I've always had trouble finding this. Here it is. Sorry, I was in the right place in the first time. So under Mesh Tools, insert edge loop. And if we click the option box for this, if we say use multiple edge loops and set it to 5, you can see it's going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits for us, and it does an even distance for us. So that's pretty nice. Now I've already got those selected, so I can shift right click and say crease tool like that and tap 3. So that just gave me everything that I needed for that. And so now what I can do is take this and scale this in and try to make everything nice and flat. For this, I can hold down W and move this and snap it to this right here, and then scale it in maybe. I'll take this one, scale it in. Just gonna move it. This one, I'm gonna move it and snap to this ring here. And this I will snap to this ring here. Scale it in. Like this. And I just kind of need to evaluate this a little bit better and make these nice and straight and through there. Something like that. And I might need to pull this one in a bit. So it might take just a little bit of time to kind of get this just right and kind of finesse these guys in through here. Maybe move 2 of them together like that. And as I scale these in, maybe I'll get something like this and scale this one in just a little bit more. So I think that's going to give us pretty much what we need for this shape, like that. Okay. And when I made the cylinder, if we looked at the creation option, we got 16 divisions through it. We could have done 8. That's fine, but I think 16 will work just fine for that as well. And then now if we do create polygon primitives and we make a sphere and make the creation options and set this to 16 by 16 like this, and we snap it to this point, holding down V and snap it to this center point that you got right there, like that. And we can rotate it, hold down J and rotate it like this. Tap 5 to see the shaded version of this, and then tap R to kind of scale this thing down like this. Tap 3. We'll kind of do something like this just to move it into position. So we got something like that, right? So that'll give us that shape. We've already looked at how to make the hexes. That was pretty easy. If we go create polygon primitives and do a cylinder, we change the options of this to 6. That'll give us a hex shape like that. And we scaled these things in, scaled them out just a bit. Hit F10 for this. Creased all the edges except for, if we hold down Control, we can deselect through the center of that like that. And if we shift right click, say crease tool, then tap 3 for that, and then 5 for the shaded mode. Now if we move this, and I'm just going to scale it down, get it to be about the right size that I'm looking for. We can hold down V and snap it to the center of this thing here. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that in object mode. That's why it shrunk down like that. So hold down V in object mode, and then snap to the center here, and then scale this thing down, like what we see here, like this. And depending on how far we're going to inset that thing in, maybe it's something like this. I can duplicate this and move it up and hold down B and maybe snap to one of these points and make it a bit smaller. And maybe scale it out this direction a bit more. So if I know I'm snapping there, then I can duplicate and hold down B, and I could maybe snap to there, hold down B, and snap to there, right? And so then I could convert that over to the smooth mesh preview, and then combine these together as one object, and then send those parts on over to ZBrush and do the normal operation that we've kind of talked about for that. So I think we've done that enough times to where I'm not even going to kind of push it over there and kind of show you. I just want to show you how to make those shapes and get that ready and get it prepped to push on over to ZBrush.